Well, hello there all you absolutely magnificent people, and welcome back to another episode of An Ecologist Plays, where we talk about nature while playing games. My name is Will, and as you can see, well, we are back in Monster Hunter World. And just a reminder, I'm a complete noob at this, so any tips you guys have, please do pop it down in the comments below. Oh, the little Pookie has a weird little balloon on him. There is a special event at the moment. But yeah, we are going to quickly talk to the commander, and then we're off. And I do believe we are going to encounter the Pukei-Pukei today. So let's dive right into that, shall we? So apparently we've done a nice job clearing the camp, but the Pukei-Pukei hunt is on. Okay, so that is indeed what we are taking on today. And then there is, of course, that bit there of Zora Magdaros, that, well, what was left behind by Zora Magdaros, that hot piece of rock that the Pukei-Pukei was kind of inspecting, and the scholars want to go and have a look at that. So we're going to have to get rid of the Pukei-Pukei. Alright, so let's set off, because I do believe the Pukei-Pukei was closer to the northeast camp. Let's set off for that camp, and yeah, let's just use one of our vouchers as well. Pointless not to use that. And off we go. So the Pukei-Pukei is really an amazing little critter, and we will talk about it in a moment. Let's just grab everything we can, because I think that antidote will in particular be very, very important. Now before we go, there is a mosswine right over here, and it was actually digging around at this mushroom here, very reminiscent of pigs being used to find truffles, because, well, truffles grow underground. It's an underground type of fungus, and pigs have an amazing sense of smell, and the pigs, of course, then will be able to even smell the truffles underground, and then will feed on it. Now, the mosswine over here also has an amazing covering on his back, and there we go, found another mushroom right over here. But this green covering on the back there is, of course, camouflage for the moss swine. And it looks like it's actually moss growing on this swine, hence the name Mosswine. And it's very reminiscent, to me at least, of sloths, which have got algae growing on them. And it's fine, it's perfect for that sloth to actually have the algae growing on it, because that algae does provide some camouflage against things like harpy eagles and other things that may hunt the sloth. Because, well, the sloth is not very fast, so it has to have some kind of camouflage. But the mosswine here also has something reminiscent of Pachycephalosaurus and those other dome-headed dinosaurs, that dome head that we can see on top there. So this indicates that it most likely uses its head. Ooh, well, that's a cool little critter there. I will talk about it in a moment. But the mosswine here most likely uses its head in combat with other individuals, either other males or maybe some females, or possibly as defense against animals that try to attack it. Now we did have this flying creature over here. I believe that is a Pteryx, if I'm not mistaken. P-T-E-R-Y-X. The P, very similar to one that you do 2 o'clock in the morning when you don't want to wake everybody up in the house, is silent. Pteryx then referring to wing. Pteros is wing, and that, you know, is a winged critter over there. Kind of gliding, very similar to Archaeopteryx, which means ancient wing. So that Pteryx there, Pteryx in the end of Archaeopteryx, that means wing, and Archaea referring to ancient. So Archaeopteryx referring to ancient wing, and, well, Pteryx just referring to wing. Are we going to try to catch this little guy? Alright, and here he comes. I've missed. I caught an omen fly, though. Bycatch, that's what that is called. There we go. I got the Pteryx. A woodland Pteryx. Bird common to forested areas, its bones and feathers resemble those of a prehistoric creature, Archaeopteryx. So the bones would be semi-hollow, allowing it to actually fly, or quite hollow, allowing it to fly, otherwise it would be too heavy, it would just drop down to the ground. But the fact that it can glide at least, I mean, it has got those contour feathers. Let's get the binoculars out, shall we? I mean, look at that, that's beautiful. Look at that tail there. That tail resembling dinosaurs, of course, some of your more primitive birds as well. And that rigid tail there with the feathers on the side there would be used to steer while gliding. Now initially even Microraptor was believed just to glide like this, but Microraptor in the meantime has been shown to have had powered flight, not gliding. But Archaeopteryx was only able to glide, it wasn't able to have powered flight, very similar to the Pteryx over here. It's just this guy's very, very active, up and down, up and down. You can see the feathers there on the forearms, on the forelimbs, allowing it to actually, well, when they open up their wings, allowing it to glide like that. Sorry, our cat is just begging for food over here, making it very difficult to actually talk about the critters here. Now these Pteryx here most likely also have got teeth. Yeah, they do have teeth in their jaws there, so they are toothed little critters. And of course they would be using those teeth to catch things like insects and maybe some small lizards, maybe this little guy over here even. Alright, but that is quite cool. So from a dinosaur-like pig to a dinosaur-like Pteryx that we've got up there. Now, we are hunting the Pukei-Pukei. But I honestly have no idea where the Pukei-Pukei is, because I can't remember where I was last time when we saw the Pukei-Pukei. So we're going to have to look for things like feathers in the area. I think we are heading the wrong way. I think we need to head more to this side or maybe up to here.
A few moments later.
Oh. Old toxic mucus. That's Anjanath, if I'm not mistaken. Is it? I'm not sure. Oh, no. Toxic mucus. That is, in fact, what we are looking for. Oh, that will belong to the Pukei-Pukei. Anjanath just has kind of snot there. And what have we got here? Old feathers. And there we go. We have picked up the trail. So, the Pukei-Pukei should be somewhere up here. Oh, I need to look at the footprints if we do see it. Because... oh, there it is. I see it up ahead. Now, interesting with the tracks here, you can see 2 toes pointing forward, 2 toes pointing back. Very similar to what we see in chameleons and also in parrots and even the osprey, which is a raptor that feeds on fish. They also have 2 toes forward, 2 toes back. And that is, at least in birds, we call that zygodactyly. And that's typical of things like parrots. Cuckoos also have it, including the roadrunner, which is also in the cuckoo family. Kukels, which also are in the cuckoo family, all of them have got that. And it allows them to grip onto, and even woodpeckers have that as well. They're also zygodactylous. And it helps them to grip, in chameleon's case, it helps them to grip the thin branches very well. And in the case of kukels and cuckoos, they kind of climb through the vegetation quite easily, and so too woodpeckers can climb up and down the trees very easily with their zygodactyly, with their 2 toes forward, 2 toes back. So there was a tip there from the handler saying one should be careful when the Pukei-Pukei has its tail swollen. And that's because, well, the Pukei-Pukei can actually store compounds of its last meal in its tail, allowing it to then kind of use it in the poison/venom that it spits. So there's the Pukei-Pukei. You can kind of see the swollen sac there underneath. That is most likely where it will be producing some poison and storing it. Oh, that is cool. That is a really cool creature. Now, we need to get away a little bit here so that we can actually look at it without being in danger. Because I would like to talk about it before we, take it on. Now, I suspect it will be coming along this way. Because, it did mark its territory over here with some old poisonous mucus. And those omen flies at the top there are red, indicating that there could be something dangerous there. There it goes away again. Okay, perfect. Oh, but it has marked its territory right over here with some toxic mucus. Let's just grab that. The more we know about the creatures, the better. But of course, notice there the wings there. This is not a bird wing. This is very membranous. It also has feather-like scales rather than true feathers. Very similar to what you see in some of the... Oh wow, okay, it jumped up there. Very similar to what you would see in some of the earlier dinosaurs that didn't have true feathers, but rather feather-like scales. As the scales elongated and actually changed to become feathers or feather-like. That's what we see here with the Pukei-Pukei. But that zygodactyly, well, not true zygodactyly, I think here that we have with it, with the Pukei-Pukei, 2 toes forward, 2 toes back. That would allow it to really walk through the trees and hold onto the branches while it is climbing around in the trees. It is most likely a very, very arboreal species. And there's one right over there now. Let's head there. And we'll grab things like the mucus on the way there. Now, the ability to spit mucus, and toxic mucus at that, is quite amazing. We do see that in some other creatures as well. We do see it, for example, in some snakes. So some reptiles are able to spit their venom. And they will do that by building up pressure and having little holes in their fangs, which will allow the venom to then be ejected out of their fangs. And you also see it in some scorpions. We also have that, for example, in some of the parabuthas, in some of the thick-tailed scorpions we have in South Africa. They also are able to spit their venom. Oh, it is actually... Oh, it's coming this way. It is coming this way. But even some spiders are able to spit venom. You may remember if you watched the Empires of the Undergrowth playthrough, you may remember that the green lynx spider is able to spit venom, and so too the spitting spiders actually can also spit a venomous compound at their prey. But yeah, this is A beautiful, beautiful creature. The eyes are very frog-like. If we can just see it. There we go. Very frog-like eyes. Saw it for a brief moment there. Thick, thick, thick tail. Also, looks like it's got a stinger at the tip of the tail, allowing it most likely to. Very similar. Oh, that is probably going to just... Yeah, that oozes poison out. Okay, I should not have punctured that. I like making mistakes in the quest. You know, kicking the paratoads. You know, cutting the poison cups. Those types of things. And there we go. It did just spit out some poisonous mucus there. Now, I think it is time for us to maybe start the hunt now. Now, we will have to try to avoid that poisonous spray. And having wings, this creature most likely would be able to fly and cover ground quite quickly. But here we go. Let's... Hello. I thought you'd be aggressive. Oh, you are aggressive. Okay. No, you're not. Are you not aggressive when we actually just ignore you? Well, this is beautiful. Okay, so you can see there the two toes pointing forward and then two kind of pointing back. Oh, this is more like a parrot than a chameleon, actually. Hello. Hello there. Oh, never mind. Now it is angry. Now it is angry. Okay, fine. Now it attacks us. Oh, look at that tongue. That tongue was ejected out of the mouth so rapidly. Oh, there we go. That's a poisonous spray. Let's just avoid that. So it can spray poisonous compound out of its tail. But that tongue is most likely projected out with a very, very strong... Ooh, let me just dodge that. A very strong muscle that... Ooh, that's poison, that's poison. And very similar to chameleon. Chameleons can actually eject their tongue like that. Thanks to very, very strong muscles. I'll have the name down there. Let's just give it a whack because it is trying to attack us. So let's fight back, shall we? And those muscles are attached to the hyoid bone. Now, the hyoid bone, you can actually feel your hyoid bone. Place your thumb and your forefinger just above where your Adam's apple is or would be. And then swallow. And you'll feel your hyoid bone moving in your throat. And that's because while your tongue is attached to that and your hyoid bone is used to swallow. And in the case of chameleons, and I believe in the Pukei-Pukei's case here as well, the muscles that result in the tongue being ejected like that... Ooh, I am poisoned. I am poisoned. Let's just drink an antidote. Alright, there we go. Antidote has been taken. This guy is quite aggressive. I'm liking it. It's a beautiful creature. And there we go, using its powerful wings to, of course, fly to another area. It's like, these guys, they really are pointless. They're not dangerous at all. So let's just fly away and ignore them further. But of course, once a chameleon has actually ejected its tongue, and I mean, it can eject its tongue at an amazing pace. It takes about 0.07 seconds for the tongue to go out of the mouth and hit the prey. And that's amazing. That's extremely quick. Ooh, there's a great jagras as well. Okay, so the great jagras and the Pukei-Pukei kind of attacking one another, I guess, now. Here comes the great jagras using its weight to to its advantage. Now these two are just going to fight, and we're just going to sit back and, let them fight. And while they are busy doing that, let's just stay out of the poison cloud there. Let's just quickly sharpen our weapon, shall we? Because a sharp weapon is a good weapon. We have picked up two great jagras components, so I don't think this great jagras is going to last. I think it is quite wounded. This is a very strong creature after all, the Pukei-Pukei, and we just have to... using its claws, its zygodactyl feet to actually try to grab us. That is quite cool. And look at the tail, it's actually quite thin, indicating that it's no longer storing the compounds that it can mix with its poison in its tail. Oh, that was a nice sweeping attack, of course, like a scorpion, trying to sting us with its tail, but scorpions will bring their tail over their heads rather than, like this guy tried to do, swinging it around. And there it goes off again. And again, trying to grab us with its feet there. Very brightly colored tail. I wonder what the function of that tail is. Maybe courtship. Maybe it uses its tail to attract a partner. Let's just avoid that attack and bring in... Oh, that was bad. That was bad. Oh, antidote. There we go. Thank you. And there we go. Finally got a bit of a charge in there. You know what? I wonder whether it doesn't... I think it stores its tongue in that pouch underneath its head there. Doing a very quick attack there. It doesn't have quite the length that a chameleon has with its tongue. And that's why it has to kind of run forward and then eject its tongue. And most likely sprays that poison by actually contracting the poison glands, allowing it to then eject poison out. Very similar to how an archer fish would also push its tongue against the top of its inside of the mouth, and that ejects water. Alright, and let's try to get this in on it. There we go. Oh, that again, that was like a solid attack. This is a very fun game though, I must say. Even though I do suck at this, it's a lot of fun to play this game. And see all the amazing creatures. Again, a swollen tail indicating that it has eaten something, and it has stored some... There we go, and again, swelling up even more. It has stored something in its tail. Now, in this case, they really are what they eat. The saying is true. Oh man, now we've got Jagras here as well. Hopefully they're more worried about the Pukei-Pukei up there than they are about us. The Pukei-Pukei most likely would also be feeding on smaller animals that can fit into its mouth more easily. Oh, we've broken the tail. Okay, it's moving away. That means we can carve the tail. Now, whether this means it can no longer use its tail in battle, I don't know. Regardless, we have broken the tail off. That is marvelous. Okay, Jagras, please ignore us. Okay, I see we've got about 23 minutes left to fight the Pukei-Pukei. And it is right this way. Ooh! Oh no! That was a Rathalos. Okay, thankfully the Rathalos did not attack us. It did fly off. Oh, you see there the tail tip is missing. Oh, I love the attention to detail. That is awesome. And off it goes again. Oh, here it comes again. Hello there. Now the tongue, of course, is still a problem for us. And they're again trying to grab with the feet. Very similar to how an osprey would do it when they grab a fish, for example. And let's bring down the axe on this. There we go. Osprey, of course, will use their zygodactyly to actually grab fish out of the water. They perch up in trees, and when they see a fish moving, they will then swoop down and try to grab the fish. Oh, that's a Rathalos. Oh, no. We're not ready for that. Definitely not ready for that. Oh, I fainted. I was just trying to get the dung pod out. Okay, so that's my first faint, at least, in this game. Okay, so let's see. We are heading still in that way. We need to get that Rathalos out of that area if we are to take out the Pukei-Pukei. Or we need to get the Pukei-Pukei somewhere else. Kestodon, hello there, Kestodon. Don't mind me, I'm just running past. Don't mind me at all. Okay, but maybe that Rathalos will actually take out the Pukei-Pukei. That would be quite good if that is indeed the case. Oh, there is the Rathalos again. Oh, no. Okay, Rathalos, we are not ready for you. Just go away. Leave us alone. We're just going to run into the thick of the forest. Maybe Rathalos can't... No, it can follow us. Okay, so dung pod equipped. If it gets any closer again, we are just going to fire the dung pod at it. Okay. I think it has left. I don't think it can get into the thick of the forest. Which is good. Very good. Hello. I hope you are not full health. Again, no, you have still got your injured tail, so that's good. Oh, look at the red. Look at the red on the feathers on the tip there. On the head. And the red face. Now that is very similar to a chameleon changing color. Now, chameleons, it's very often thought, chameleons, they change color. Oh, that is licking the ground. Are you trying to poison the ground? Almost does look like it. Okay, so I've got to charge that. There we go. Oh, please, out of the way. There we go. Oh, okay, I got hit there once. But chameleons are often thought, to change color to blend in with the background. When you do say someone is a chameleon if they can blend in any environment. But that's not why chameleons actually change color. Chameleons change color in order to show emotions, to intimidate rivals, to court females, anything like that, not to actually blend in with the backgrounds. And so too, the Pukei-Pukei here did not change color to actually blend in with its background. It went from a greenish bluish iridescent head to a bright red head to indicate it is enraged. And I think that's amazing, the fact that that is why it actually changed its color. Okay, we're just quickly again going to sharpen our blade while we are heading over there. I'm looking forward to being able to do this on the Sacred in Monster Hunter Wilds. That would be wild. Pardon the dad joke there. I'm allowed to make dad jokes. I'm becoming a dad, so I'm allowed to make them. But I do think the Pukei-Pukei is trying to regain health up here. We can't have that now, can we? What are you doing now? Hey, oh, you're trying to attack, I don't know, my Pelico perhaps? But, no, take this. Let's see how you feel about that, shall we? Very drooly there, very similar to the Komodo dragon where you can see the mucus oozing out of the mouth. Hello, little one, what are you doing? Oh, you're eating scatternuts. Eating the nuts there to try and give you some kind of buff in your poison. Interesting. We will need to keep an eye out for that poisonous attack. There we go, there it is. And stay out of the poison on the ground there. Almost got hit by that one. And that one. Again, the redhead, the enraged mechanic there. Aha! And we are just really, there we go. We were wailing on him. And we did manage to slay it. Wow. So let's just quickly harvest the Pukei-Pukei here. But again, notice the feathers all over the head here. A very chameleon-like casque on the head part right there. That section of the head. Very, very chameleon-like. This section here with that bump over there resembling, that scale over there resembling the iguanas again. And they've got the beautiful, beautiful feathers. Most likely structural coloration rather than actual true color. In other words, the feather-like scales, they're actually breaking up the light. And that is what makes it look, so it scatters the light, and that is what makes it look bluish greenish in color. But that was a lot of fun, I must say. I love the fact that the Pukei-Pukei does try to grab you. It has a variety of attacks. While it has its tail at the tip there, its actual stinger there, it will use that and try and attack you with that. And of course it will use its tongue, which is its main attack. Which, oh, look at that. Look at the beautiful osteoderms on the belly here. Lightish in color on the belly here. I mean, that is typical counter shading, green above, lighter below in this case. And osteoderms there, providing bony armor in essence. Osteoderm means bone skin, because, well, they would be bone embedded in the scales over there in this case. Similar to a crocodile's scutes. So it provides a strength rather than a weakness. And most animals are actually weak on the belly, not the Pukei-Pukei. The Pukei-Pukei has got very, very nice tough scales on its belly to protect it. This is really a formidable foe, and I'm surprised we didn't die to it once. We died due to Rathalos, we did not die, or we did not faint due to this critter over here. We are just going to take everything we can, and we now have earned the right to take on 3-star assignments. Nice. And now it seems the fleet is hot on the trail of Zorah Magdaros. But we need to protect the scholars while they investigate something. And, oh, we are heading to the Wildspire Waste. Nice. So next time we are heading to the Wildspire Waste. Now, before we actually end the episode, let us release the Woodland Pteryx that we have caught. And here we go. Here it is. In this case, walking along on the ground. That's absolutely beautiful. Thin head, thin snout, indicating it most likely, again, as mentioned, catches insects. Doesn't need a broad muzzle for that. And teeth, yes. Okay, so it is a tooth individual. This Woodland Pteryx is very, very reminiscent of the Archaeopteryx. Although Archaeopteryx, I think it was probably more of a brown color rather than this iridescent color. But maybe that is also based on the habitat that it would have been in, more coniferous forest rather than the broadleaf jungle that the Woodland Pteryx is found in. Now, all these feathers are actually, technically, I believe, brown in true color. But the way the feathers are structured, it refracts light and breaks it up. Like the Pukei-Pukei's feathers, it breaks up the light shining on it, and then it actually looks blue or green or so. If you ever pick up a bright blue or bright green feather, take it and hold it against the light, and you'll see that it actually appears brown when you hold it up against the light. And that's because that is the true color of the feather. The woodland pteryx here is not truly blue-green in color. It is brown in color, but it appears blue-green because of that structural coloration of the feathers there. And you can also see the wrist there, so you can see the arm extending from there. Then that will be the humerus, and then over there you'll have the radius and the ulna, and then you'll have the finger bones extending there, there, and there. And then all along the arm you have got feathers extending all the way down to the fingers as well, like you would find in birds that will fly. I think that is a good spot to then end today's episode, everybody. So thank you very much for joining me on our little adventure here. Hope you enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun battling the Pukei-Pukei. Next time, of course, we will be trying to protect the scholars as they head into the Wildspire Waste. So until next time, everybody, stay safe. I'll see you all soon. Cheers!